If you've been looking for a fast way to impress your friends and your crush with your guitar playing, look no further. Because by the end of this video, you will know 8 beginner-friendly, easy guitar riffs that are total crowd pleasers at any party, at any time. For the first riff, we're gonna get down straight to business. We're going to do the Bikini Bottom Police theme from SpongeBob. And it goes like this. You're gonna start by playing the open low E string twice. 1, 2. Then you're gonna press the 3rd fret with your index finger. And then you're gonna do open low E string again. So it's 0, 0, 3, open 5. And then you're gonna go back to the 3rd fret. And then you're gonna play the open string. And now you're gonna repeat the exact same pattern, but then on the A string. So you're gonna do open A string, 3rd fret, open, 5th fret, back to 3, and then open. Then you're gonna go back to the low E string and play the 3rd fret twice. 1, 2, 6th fret low E with your pinky. And then you're gonna go back to the 3rd. And then you're gonna shift 1 string down to the 3rd fret of the A string. And then your pinky is gonna go back to the 6th fret of the low E. And then you're gonna go back to the 3rd fret of the low E. So it's 3, 3, 6, 3, A string, 6, 3. And then you repeat the first part twice. The second beginner-friendly riff that is a total crowd pleaser, we're going to learn the Punjabi song. This is not the real song, I'll list the real name on screen, but for now I'll call it Punjabi song. And it goes like this. So you're going to start with your index finger on the 9th fret of the high E string, and then you're going to put your ring finger on the 11th fret of that same string. And now you're going to play that 11th fret 7 times. So 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to repeat that 2 times. After you've played that, you're going to go to the 4th and final part. Index finger goes on 9th again. And then you're going to play the 11th fret twice. 1, 2. And then you're going to put your pinky finger on the 12th fret of that string and play it 1, 2, 3. So it's bum, bum, bum. And then you're going to play the 11th fret once. The third riff we're going to break down is going to be Calm Down by Rema. This is what it sounds like. For this riff, you're going to put your index finger on the 6th fret of the D string and the rest is open. And then with your playing hand, you're going to play low E, D. And you're going to alternate that a few times. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So 6 full times. And now you're gonna play low E, shift, E, D. And now your index finger is gonna go to the 1st fret of the D string. Then you're gonna position your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And now you're gonna switch the strings you're picking as well. And then you're gonna play that pattern 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The fourth riff we're going to break down is going to be the Mingle song from the famous show Squid Game. And it sounds like this. The first step is to put your index finger on the 10th fret of the B string. And while you play that string, your middle finger and ring finger are going to already hover above the 11th fret and the 12th fret of the G string, because you're going to play those notes straight after. So it's going to be 10, 11, 12, stop. So you can do like a stop by placing your pick in between your strings and getting a percussive effect. So during that switch, your ring finger is going to go on the 12th fret of the B and your pinky finger is going to go on the 12th fret of the high E. So you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 on the B string. So it's, then you're going to play the 12th on the high E. And while you play that note, you're going to ready your middle finger above the 10th fret of the high E and your index finger above the 9th fret of the high E. After you've hit this 9th fret on the high E, keep your ring finger and your index finger on there because you're going to play those notes straight after. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 10, 9, 12 B, 9th high E. And then you're going to play 10, 10, 10. And the last time you play that 10th fret on the high E string, you're going to let it ring. The next riff we're going to break down is going to be No Surprises by Radiohead. And it goes like this. The first step is to put your index finger on the 5th fret of the G string, your ring finger on the 6th fret of the B, and then your middle finger on the 6th fret of the high E. The next step is to play the following picking pattern. You're going to do high E, G, B, G. And then you're going to repeat that a few times. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to put your ring finger on the 8th fret of the D. You're going to do a small bar on the 6th frets of the G and B. If it feels too difficult, you can also just play the notes separately. And then you're going to do 8th fret D, 6th fret G, 6th fret B. And then you can put your pinky finger on the 8th fret of the B. And while you play that note, you can mentally already kind of ready yourself to play that D major shape on the 5th and 6th fret. And then you're going to repeat the whole thing again, like that. The 6th riff we're going to break down is going to be Do I Wanna Know by the Arctic Monkeys. It goes like this. So you're going to start by placing your index finger on the 5th fret of the low E. And then you're going to do a hammer on immediately to the 3rd fret of the low E. You can do it with your pinky or your ring. It really doesn't matter. So it's going to be hammer on. And while you do the hammer on, your index finger is going to jump up in the air and land on the 1st fret of the A string. So it's going to be hammer on, launch, 1st fret. And then you're going to come back to the 3rd fret of the low E. Then you're going to do the same hammer on thing again. So it's going to be hammer on, 1st fret A. But now you're also going to do a hammer on the D string from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret. So, and then you're going to play the 1st fret again. So it's going to be hammer on, A string, and then hammer on to the D. It helps me to kind of bar my index finger over these 3 strings. So then I wouldn't have to think of my finger shifting. So it's going to be hammer on, let ring. Then you're going to shift to a hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the A string. And do this motion again. And then you're going to place your index finger on the 1st fret of the A and your pinky finger or ring finger to the 3rd fret of the A string as well. But this time make sure your fingers are arched because you need to play an open D string. You need to make that resonate. So it's going to be hammer on, D string, and then you're going to play A string. And now you're going to do a slide from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret of the A string. And you're going to do 2 hammer-ons from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret. 1, 2. And while you play that second hammer-on, your index finger is going to launch in the air and kind of land on the 3rd fret of the low E. The next riff we're going to break down is going to be Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz, and it goes like this. You're going to start by placing your index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then you're going to pluck the low E string and the D string at the same time like this. And then you're going to do a tap. And then you're going to play 2nd fret, ring finger or pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. And then you're going to play the open G string. So it's going to be pluck, tap, 2, 4, open, tap. And then you're going to place your index finger on the 1st fret of the B and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then you're going to pluck those 2 strings. After that pluck of the A and B string, you're going to take off your index finger and play just the B string. Like that. And then you're going to tap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And during those 3 taps, you're going to shift your middle finger from the 2nd fret of the A string to the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you're going to play the A and the G string together. Tap. Then you're going to play 2nd on G string again. 1st on B with your index finger. Open B string. So tap. Then you're going to shift your middle finger up 1 string and you're going to play the low E string and the G string open together. And then you're going to play the D string with your middle finger on the 2nd fret. So, and then you can choose to tap 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. Now for our 8th and final riff, we're going to learn the SpongeBob closing theme. And yes, we're going to do SpongeBob twice because I want you to impress your crush. Let me show you what it sounds like. So you're going to start by placing your middle finger and index finger on the 7th fret and the 6th fret of the high E string. And then you're going to play 7, 6, 7. And then your pinky finger is going to go on the 9th fret of the high E string as well. And then you're going to go back to the 7th fret. So it's going to be 7, 6, 7, 9, 7. And then you're going to put your index finger on the 5th fret of the B string like this. And then your middle finger is going to go back to the 7th fret of the high E string. Then you're going to repeat it. Then you're going to play this riff twice. So 1, 2, And then you're going to slide from the 9th fret to the 11th fret of the high E with your pinky finger. Then you're going to play the 12th fret. And then you're going to go back to 7 and back to 5th on the B string. So now you know 8 fun riffs to play on the guitar to impress basically everyone you know. But if you want to learn 10 more, please watch the video on screen and I'll see you there.